Hello everybody, thanks for watching the video. So in this one, somebody asked if there was a good setup for attacking and defense. Now, that is a pretty tough question to answer because there is a lot of ways to go about it. Overall, I would say for right now, don't try to split and be attack and defense setup. Doing it that way, it doesn't really work out too well because you're going to weaken yourself in one way or the other. Well, actually, you're going to weaken yourself in both ways. It's best to go either all attack or all defense or all conquest for whatever you're going to do. Just reset your skill tree and skill it down for whatever you're going to be doing. Now, if you were, well, your best bet would be to get a reinforcement if you were going to defend and set it up for defense, and just kind of like a trap setup. If you guys ever played Game of War and were setting up a trap, before I get into all that, let's go over some other stuff. Alright, so it's really going to come down to reinforcements, gear, and your skill tree if you guys were going to do a setup that could attack and defend. The only problem with that is, like I said, it's going to weaken you in both ways if you do a split setup. And if you do it all one way, you'll be super strong in that one way. You'll just have to set it up differently if you want to go do something else and do pretty well. So it's going to come down basically to gear, reinforcements, and the skill setup. So you got to have your attack gear, you got to have your defense gear, and then you're going to have to switch if you was to get hit. So you're going to have both the pirate gear and the protector's gear for defending and attacking. Unless, of course, you are able to build master gear, which is very expensive, and I probably wouldn't recommend it at the moment, unless you guys just have a ton of resources, well, a ton of silver that you're setting on, and don't have anything else to do with it. That's up to you guys if you do. I don't really have any of that, but that's up to you guys if you were going to build master gear. Master gear by itself, I think tier 4ish, it's as strong or stronger than 28 pirate gear. So it's pretty brutal, and it's the best gear for defending as well. It gives a ton of boost in defense and all that. So it can actually be used for both attacking and defending if you were going to use it in that way. That's up to you guys if you're going to build that though. But overall, you're going to need a attacking and defending set if you're going to set up something like that. Skill wise is the biggest impact, I believe. This is probably going to play the biggest role if you were to put up a attack and defense setup. Now, what I was saying about it making you weaker if you was going to do this is because you don't get a whole lot of skill points. You would have to have a pretty high level here captain to be able to do it pretty well. If you got, I would say probably at least 40 or higher, because you're going to weaken yourself so much. I don't even recommend doing it at all. But if you are, at least have a high level captain so you have at least a few skill points to work with, because it takes a lot of skill points to go down one side, and doing both sides is just ridiculous. They don't give you enough skill points to do a mix like that and do it super well, but you can do that if you wanted to. I just don't really recommend it because it's not a very strong setup. You would have to play at your level. It would have to be someone around your size or less if they were going to hit you, because you'd be pretty weak defensively because you don't really have a whole lot of skill points to use on this side if it's not a high level hero, and even if it is a high level hero, you're not going to get very far. So defensively on the pirate tree you're going to be pretty weak. On the ship skill tree, it's not really a big deal because I do these, which is used all around, so that's going to help me all around. But you do have these options, so me personally, I would go all one direction, like all siege or all defender if I was going to do one or the other. So if I'm going to defend, I'm going to set up like a trap setup. I'm going to go reskill. I'm going to go all defense, and then get a reinforcement and all that, and just sit and wait. That's the best way to do it for now. It might evolve a little bit later on when they add in some more stuff, or just the combat style evolves a little bit with different players and stuff. But anyways, I don't recommend doing a split setup, but you could. You would just be weak to higher level players. You probably wouldn't have a chance to take on a higher level player if you did a split setup. If you wanted the chance to take on somebody that was higher than you, let's say you're 26 and you was going to defend by yourself. It would be best to go all defense. It would be best to have your research and armor and durability and all that maxed out, so you take less damage from the, let's say 28. Let's say you have super frigates. You're probably going to lose either way if it is a very well set up 28, but there's a possibility you could win that defense if you was set up well and just happened to pull through. It's a very hard defense to pull off if you guys are just a regular 26 and you are not really maxed out. You don't really have a whole lot of research. You're probably going to lose. Doing a attack and defense setup is a very tricky thing to play with. Overall, I don't think there is a well set up way to do it yet. There may be a way to do it later on that is better, but for right now I would say don't do it because it's going to weaken you too much in one way or the other. I'd say go all siege, go all defense. If you're all siege, just shield for the attack. If you're all defense, you can try to take it, it's up to you, but right now it's probably not a good idea. It's just going to cost you some troops if you do lose, but it's up to you guys. It doesn't really matter if you get hit or not. It's not that much to just rebuild. It's up to you. So, ship-wise, as I said, it's the way I do it in ships. It doesn't really matter. It works both ways. The way the ship's skill tree does it, you could do it both ways. That doesn't really affect it. It's the pirate one that really gets you because they don't give you enough skill points to go both sides. I hate that they did it this way. I wish the pirates were just like the ships ones and you got skill point things that you choose to do everything. Like these work on everything: attack, defense, and conquest. Those work. These split it up into all three, and it really makes it weird when you don't get a whole lot of skill points. It makes you really be smart on how you spend them. So it really throws it off. I hate how they did the pirate one. Makes it where you can't defend and all that very well without making yourself weaker in the pirate area, which is where they're going to get you. Your ships and stuff will likely do great if you set it up the right way, and then when they board, they'll just slaughter you. That is the issue, because they do it in this particular way, and it's very annoying. Anyways, go over to my management. This doesn't really affect it at all. But yeah, the skill tree and the gear, and I would say the boat setup is the main thing you're after. Which, beyond the skill tree and all that, I'm going to go over to the boats and I did a boat setup video before, and the boat setup isn't really going to change depending on attacking and defending. It's really going to be the same stuff. Now, if you guys are higher research than I am on the galleons, you're going to have more upgrades to choose from. Like these go to 10, and you'll be able to take them all the way to 10. These only go to 5 for me, because I haven't done that research. It's pretty expensive, and I'm not really bothering with the galleons anymore. But that's up to you guys. So if you guys did watch the boat setup video, I have 5 set up for attacking, and then 4 set up for trading and gathering and all that other stuff. But if you guys were going to attack and defend, you would want to set up all your boats for firepower, armor, defense, durability, expand cabin. Definitely expand cabin's a major one. I would say probably evasion, maybe a little gunpowder, maybe a little pirate firepower. But you're going to want to set up all your boats strictly for the most damage and durability that they can get. Because if you're trying to take on a higher level player and you're already going to be weakened from the pirate skill tree up here, which is really weird the way they did it, you really need a lot of skill points to be able to do this if you were going to split it. But since you're already going to be weakened from that, if you guys are going to split it that way, you want to set up all these boats for as much as they can possibly get, and you want to have some Calypso blessings for more attack and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be the best way to go about it. Other than that, I don't really know how to help with that kind of setup. I don't recommend it. As for right now, I have not found a good way to split that skill tree and still be strong in both areas. It's just not the way they set the game up. It's just not going to work out that way. The way they didn't give you a whole lot of skill points to play with. You're just going to weaken yourself too much in that side and that side if you was to split it both ways. I wish they added in, kind of like other games such as Game of War, where you have skill tree presets. Like you could set 3 of them up, one for attack, one for defense, and one for conquest, and you just switch through them like pushing a button. Kind of like that, you switch through them. And the gear, the way they just switch through. It would make it that much easier to do that instead of reskilling it every time, but me personally, I recommend you guys just go one way or the other for now. Once you guys get to a point and you want to stop, you want to max everything out, you want to become very strong in that area, then I'd say you could possibly try it. But if you guys are just leveling up and passing through, it's probably not going to be the greatest idea to try and split your skill tree and be able to defend and attack really well. It's going to weaken you on one side and the other, and it's just not going to work too well. You're not going to be able to hit much higher than you are. You're not going to be able to defend anybody that's higher than you. It's going to weaken you too much, and it's probably not going to work out too well. So if you guys were hoping there was a way to do that, I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm sorry if this is disappointing, but I just don't see it working out too well as of right now. If you get higher level boats and stuff, it might work out better. Like if you're a level 30 and you got Man-O-Wars, it might work out better. But really overall, hitting somebody with Man-O-Wars is going to be a costly win or loss either way. Even if they are skilled for attack or whatever. Those boats are super strong. They've got the high level pirates. Those are super strong as well. It's just not going to work out either way for the attacker or the defender. It's going to hurt both ways. So anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully maybe it showed you guys a few things about how to set this up, and if you haven't watched the other videos. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll have some more out for you soon, probably. I should. I've got a few I am editing right now. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.